This is Paulie the Magic Man Malignaggi, and I want to give a big shout out to Shaz and the Pep Talk boys.
Yay!
Pep Talk UK.
Ladies and gents, for the fight fans locked in, for the football fans locked in, now it's time for some real talk on Pep Talk. Let's go! Oi oi! Welcome to the Pep Talk UK Sports Podcast, the podcast that talks the major boxing and football news from around the globe, real points of view from a real panel. Hashtag real talk on Pep Talk. Please subscribe to Pep Talk UK on iTunes and YouTube. Don't forget to like, share and comment. Right now I'm your host, Frankie B, aka Pro Bees, and I'm joined by a sick panel. Firstly, I'd like to welcome you back from the deepest, darkest Ukraine, a former editor for Ring Magazine. It's Petar Sugaroff. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Gay Crasher is in the house.
Yes. Now, I'm not going to ask you who you're rooting for, but I know the whole of the country behind Loma this weekend, aren't they?
Yeah, whole Ukraine is behind him. They love him. They worship him. Basically, here in Ukraine, he's like a god and father. He and Uzi.
Has he become sort of like the new national hero, taking over from Klitschko?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, absolutely.
Cracking. Now, Peter, we're going to keep it moving. Do you want to shout out your social media before we move on, bro?
Yeah, I'm sure. As usual, follow me on Twitter at GateCrasherUA and on Facebook as GateCrasherUA.
My guy, Peter Sugaroff. Now, finally, I'd like to welcome, for the first time, he's in the building. He's from a massive boxing platform known as Fight Hype. It's my guy, Uni. How you doing, bro?
Yes, Frankie, what's going on? What's happening? Pep Talk viewers, what's going down? What's happening, Frankie? My
bro, what's going on? It was good to catch up with you at the Hey Bellew weigh-in.
For sure.
Interesting weigh-in. I was feeling the vibe. I was feeling the Deneo, Manuel Black tune. I was rocking my head hard to that. But then, weigh-in was great. The fight was also very good. But, I mean, what did you make of the result?
You know what, I always said if David Hay was fit, he'd give a good performance. But from the first round, you always thought there was something up with him. He was a bit wobbly. His feet weren't firm. You understand? He was a lot front-footed. Yeah. He seemed to put all his weight on his front foot.
Because
so on the offset.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man. When I saw that, I thought, you know what, it isn't right. And then, you could tell, man, second, third, fourth, fifth round, you could just tell there was something else on his mind, and it wasn't boxing, man. It looked like it looks like his body's just broken. And respect to the guy for what he's done for British boxing. He's killed it. He's very much a legend for what he's done. Cruiserweight king, heavyweight champion. But I think his time's up.
And that's the end, isn't there? For me, I think Spencer Farad, he summed it pretty well when he said his style for a guy at his stage of his career to keep doing that evasive style that relies on a lot of lateral movement and angles would be very difficult to maintain. And it kind of worked out that way, didn't it?
100%, man, 100%. But you know what? Full credit to Tony Bellew, man. People wrote him off the first fight, wrote him off the second fight, and he produced, innit? First fight, fair enough. David Hay came out. I actually got injured in the fight, but second fight he produced, man. You've got to take your hats off to the guy. People might not rate him or put him as the underdog, but the guy knows how to perform when it comes to shining underneath them big lights. Do you understand?
Now, Uni, before we move on, do you want to shout out your social media, brother?
Yes, at Uni86, that's OUNEY86, that's on Instagram and Twitter. So give me a follow, guys, if you like the sort of shit I'm going to be saying in this podcast.
That's Udi, loves to go on Aggie. Shout out Udi, shout out Fight Hype. Yeah, my guy. Right, guys, want to start with the boxing. This weekend, Linares takes on Lomachenko at the Garden in New York. and some are calling this the Boxing Classico. Now, Uni,
Yeah.
it looks like, you know, these two could be excellent dance partners. Pretty sure we're in for a special night, aren't we?
Man, it's a great fight. Honestly, when it comes to technical fighters, it's a great fight. Linares, you know what? Linares is a hard one to call because he's been a great fighter. He's got the speed, got combination punching, knows how to sort of mix her up. But his last couple of fights haven't been, you know, haven't had that wow factor to it. And it seems like, I don't know, maybe he needs a Lomachenko fight to show people what he's about. You understand? But what a fight, man. Lomachenko is on the rise. The guy's he's just relentless. He is just, watching him is just beautiful. Honestly, there's no one in the world at this present time that I love watching apart from Lomachenko. The guy just makes you want to just love boxing, the way he dances around the ring. He's made big fighters quit, and that's the craziest thing about Lomachenko. He's made people like Rigondo, who, you know, the boxing world, or especially the boxing hardcore fans, knew that, you know what, this guy's a hard fight. And he done it with the Axeman himself, Nicholas Walters, made him quit. Lomachenko, you know what, man? Lomachenko, you know what? If he does what he's doing, man, this fight's going to be such an epic fight, and one I can't wait for on Saturday night.
Linares has got a lot more experience. He's had a lot more fights. And also as well, Lomachenko's giving away in size to Linares. So do you think those are going to be very important factors on the night?
No, because you know what? Okay, if you look at size-wise, yes, Linares is bigger, fills out his frame better. Lomachenko is a lot more smaller, but he has fought a lightweight in the amateurs, so he knows about going up and down the weight scale before, and he's had good experience of that. In the pro game, obviously, it's a different ball game. In regards to boxing ability, Linares is great footwork. You know, a great combination puncher when he gets in range. Good distance fighter. He can, you know, throw the jab. Knows how to throw the jab to the body, you know, if he wants to attack that area. But I just feel like Lomachenko's just, at this present time, he's just on a different planet. And that's no disrespect to Linares. I think Linares he's been a great fighter to watch, but you can only go off past performances. And you know, against Gester, he sort of was sleeping for a couple of rounds, and you know, he sort of breezed through that fight, where someone like Lomachenko would have ended that fight in sort of emphatic, you know, with an emphatic finish. It's like, it's hard on to call. Even Luke Campbell was a very tight fight.
Luke Campbell gave a lot of worries.
Yeah, I know. So you get what I'm trying to say. It's just the fact that Linares is a great fighter, has the footwork, has the speed, but Lomachenko for me just seems like he just has that level above for me.
Petter, Lomachenko, can he take heart to the fact that Linares struggled against the southpaw Luke Campbell, who gave Linares a lot of problems?
I don't think the southpaw stance was the problem against Campbell. I think Luke's height, he's a very tall fighter. Besides of
a lot more range, than Linares.
Yeah, there's a lot of range, and he's got this style. He's in and out. He's got a good. He caught a good rhythm in the middle rounds, and that's what made Linares so difficult to beat him.
Are the people in Ukraine saying that Lomachenko probably should have had some warm-up fights at the weight first?
No, they have full confidence in Lomachenko. Both casual fans and hardcore fans, writers, they were shooting up to Garcia. They wanted him to fight Garcia straight away. How's that for confidence? And last time I was here on the podcast, and I was clamoring for, you probably remember, right? Mm-hmm. I was asking for Linares, and there we go.
Well, hopefully, last time we were looking forward to the Rigondeaux fight, and that turned out to be an absolute stinker, mate, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think that this would be no Rigo. I don't think Linares will retire.
Now, Ken, I'd like to welcome you back in the building. Ken Buhari.
Thank you so much, man.
In Africa, brother. Mate, what's the promotion been like for this fight out in the States?
I think it's been fairly slow, actually, but it's been building up this past week. My understanding is that they had about 8,000 tickets sold as of Monday, but they are opening up other sections. They're expecting about 12,000, which is a pretty good crowd. Hopefully it reaches 12,000, but my understanding is that they cut down the prices quite a bit to reach that. The Garden isn't what it used to be. You know, it was... Back in the day, Madison Square Garden was the mecca of boxing
and wrestling as well. WrestleMania back in the day, Madison Square Garden.
Back in the day, that's right. But now I think I think Barclays is probably more the bigger venue. So, but still a good crowd. I think there'll be a great TV crowd on ESPN for it for sure. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out on Saturday.
How do you think this fight's going to pan out from a technical point of view?
I think Lomachenko's going to win. I do think that the Luke Campbell fight was a little telling in the way that Linares fought him and the way he struggled. Not saying that Campbell fights anything like Lomachenko, but Linares is sort of a pretty fighter, and yeah, Linares is pretty, but Lomachenko's a dime. He's prettier, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't see anything that Linares does better than Lomachenko. I like the style matchup though. I think it's going to be far better than the Rigo match. But Linares is getting a little up there in age as well. He's 30.
A lot of fights,
right? And he's going to be 47 fights. This is his 48th fight. Wow. He's going to be 33 in a few months. So he's not as fresh, and I think it's starting to show in his fights as the fights go on. He was cutting his last fight. And so I just don't see how he's going to be able to deal with a younger, fresher fighter who's peaking at this time.
If Linares adopts the same tactics as Salido, potentially that might be the undoing of Lomachenko. No,
I don't know if Lomachenko's the same guy from his second pro fight. I think he learned I think he learned a lot from that fight, and I don't know if Linares even knows how to get that dirty. To really get in the trenches and do that. I don't know if he'd be able to get away with those kind of tactics now. He's a good height, and he's pretty fast, and he has flashes of brilliance in there. So I expect him to use the things that to dance with the girl that he brought to the prom, right? So I just don't think that I just don't think there's anything that he does better than Lomachenko. I think the jab is going to trouble him. I think the movement is going to trouble him, and I think he's going to struggle to get off over 12 rounds. And because he's going to struggle to get off 12 rounds, it's going to be very difficult for him to string punches together and land. And you're not going to beat Lomachenko landing single shots here and there.
And it doesn't help when your coach Ishmael Salas is not part of your camp either. That doesn't help.
No, not at all. So I think it's funny. It's interesting seeing what's going on. I'm impressed with Golden Boy that they sent Linares out to the firing squad like this, and they're not even really benefiting from it since it's a top-ranked promotion. But I want to point out that if anyone's noticed that Golden Boy typically Golden Boy makes their money from Canelo Alvarez. He's a large moneymaker. I think he's responsible. According to a 2016 document, 91% of their fighters do not make them any money, and Canelo is responsible for close to 70% of all of their revenue. He has not fought this year, and so because of that, there's a little bit of desperation from Golden Boy because they need some sort of money. So they sent Joseph Diaz Jr. to fight Gary Russell. They sent Lucas Matisse to fight Manny Pacquiao, and they're sending Jorge Linares to fight Vasyl Lomachenko.
They're throwing them to the wolves.
Yeah, basically because they need some income. And they could turn up 0-3, and so that's what I see happening here. 0-1 definitely after Saturday.
We look forward to it at the Garden. Should be a cool card. Now it's interview time, and this week, ahead of the massive fight between Vasyl Lomachenko versus Jorge Linares. Some are calling it the Boxing Classico. Our man Shaz, the boxing nut, caught up with a man that is well placed to dissect exactly how this fight will go. Let's hear from the man himself, the magic man in fact, Paulie Malignaggi.
Pep Talk UK are joined by a two-time world champion and now one of the best boxing pundits on the planet, Mr. Paulie Malignaggi. How you doing, sir?
Good.
Big fight coming up, Linares Loma Linares. How do you see it going down? How do you break it down?
I think Linares is a bit fresher. Well, Lomachenko is a bit fresher. But I'm curious to see, because Linares is a good defense. I mean, a good boxing style, but his defense is always a bit suspect at times. You know, he's a guy who gives the illusion of a good boxer, but he rarely uses his jab, or he rarely snaps out his jab. So I'm curious to see how he deals with the southpaw stance of Lomachenko, especially Lomachenko dealing with giving the angles and whatnot. I think Lomachenko creates a lot of pace with that change of angles and movement constantly. He's able to punch off all those angles. That's really the trickiest thing about Lomachenko, is not only the angles he gives you, but the fact that he punches off every single one of those angles. So the curiosity is, for me, how is Linares going to handle it? Linares usually is well balanced and has good fundamentals, but Lomachenko is obviously a very adept at destroying those fundamentals in these fighters. The wild card is, although Linares himself is a former featherweight, he seems to be the bigger man here in the fight. So we'll see if the physical attributes play a part in it. But I don't think he's the freshest guy, and I think that's going to end up hurting him in the end.
Linares is no longer with Ismail Shalas. Do you think that's going to have any bearing?
I think that's just psychology. I think if Linares is confident in himself and in his new training team, I think he'll be fine.
Loma. A lot of people put him down as the P for P king. Where do you stand with him in terms?
I think he's in the conversation for sure.
Well, Paulie, thank you for giving Pep Talk UK your time and your expert opinion. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, buddy.
Sounds good, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Cracking stuff, Paulie. Thank you. Big up the magic man. Right, Uni, we're reaching the finale of the Premier League. It's been, for the top teams, I think Man United have had some good parts, had some bad parts, but you being a Man United fan, I mean, how do you assess the season for you?
You know what, it's been a progressive season. So we've progressed since last year and the years before, since Fergie left. And firstly, our wishing Sir Alex Ferguson a great recovery. So obviously the whole sort of football world been affected. But obviously since Sir Alex left, we've been on the downfall, and Mourinho has come in and he sort of picked it up. You know, second, we're going to finish second this year. And it seems like since the Moisey and the Louis van Gaal days, we're playing better football. It might not be much better to the eye, to the sort of neutral's eye, but when you're a fan who watches every minute of every match, you know, there's certain aspects of the game where we have improved. Now, this season, it's been a tough one. I think it's been a mental struggle as a fan and as a player. You come off a big win against Liverpool, then you lose to Sevilla. You come off a big win against Man City, and then you lose to somebody against like Brighton. You understand? It's been a very topsy-turvy season in regards to mentally. It's been very unstable because we get good results against big teams, and then the ones that you expected to sort of win against, it's just never clicked. And certain games you're thinking, wow, we come in the Champions League of this, and then there's certain games you think, bloody hell, really lucky we're finishing second. I don't know how we're finishing second. So the season's been very confusing, but it's going towards the right direction.
Well, do you know what? Last time I checked the table, there's 20 points between you and City, which is a load of points, let's face it. But do you know what I've noticed on a positive? You don't concede many goals, right? You conceded 28 goals over a season. Now that's excellent. But what I've seen in the goals for column is you need to score more goals next season. So if you can correct that and get more people to chip in, okay, Lukaku, he's done bits this season, we'll give him props, but the other players around him need to score more goals, and then hopefully that will help with progression.
I agree. You know what? There's been certain games this season where Mourinho's let him off the leash, and we've scored goals. But sometimes there's that. This is the thing. Now you're going to get people out there who love Mourinho. You're going to get people out there who don't like him and probably are looking for a new manager already. I'm not one of them. You know, I think Mourinho is the right person in regards to getting us into the right direction. Whether he's that person who's going to get us into that, you know, first spot, or is going to get us a Champions League or whatever, we don't know. I think we're quite far away from that, personally. But like you said, 20 points, man. You got to think about how well City are played. They've wiped teams out with great football, and we just seem like, when you watch City, you seem like everyone else is so far behind what they've done this season. I respect them. I'm a United fan, and I'll openly give them respect for how they've played this year. You understand? It's been great to watch. They've been a good football team, but we just need. I think this season we've just lacked in regards to goals. It's just sometimes you just feel like just let the players off the leash. Like, there's been certain players who you think are just underperformed. They've been playing out of position. Like someone like Martial, for example, great player, fantastic player.
He started well. Yeah. He started
fantastically. And before Sanchez came, he was going through a good run of form in sort of December, January time. He was going through a good run of form. Sanchez joined, and I don't know if that sort of knocked off his confidence. It gave him a few less games, but even when he was playing, you know, there's games in there where you see he can do so much more, but he is a good player, man. It's just crazy to see at United that we've got a lot of world class, or players that were world class, and when they're at United, for whatever reason, they're not seeming to perform, and I don't know why that is. You could talk about Sanchez as well. He's probably had about 3 good games. Yeah, 3 good games or 4 good games.
But he's finding he has to integrate into your team, because at Arsenal, let's face it, he was more or less a star player. You know, Arsenal, you're given that freedom to play, do what you like. Man United, Mourinho don't tolerate that. You know, you've got defensive responsibilities, and I feel he's had to make a major adjustment mid-season to kind of fit into your team. And let's face
100%.
it,
with Sanchez is an exception, because anyone that comes in January, and there's not many players who come to a football club in January and integrate straight away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Sanchez, I'm just saying, Sanchez, you could just tell that it's taking players a longer time. Like, you know, Pogba as well. He has good games, and then sometimes he has a shock. You think, you're a world-class player. Pogba for me, honestly, he could easily be the best midfielder in the world. Easy. But I'm not sure if it's, like I said, I'm not sure if it's a mental thing, but sometimes he just sleeps in games. And I'm a big Pogba fan. I hope we keep hold of him, and I hope he runs our midfield for years to come. But sometimes you can't just point the finger at the manager all the time. When he's put out 11 players to play, some of them really need to perform at times. You know, we finished second. It's been a decent season. Like I said, very much up and down at times. But we have to make some major improvements for next year to even catch City and, you know, sort of stop Liverpool from trying to get above us.
Yeah, and you know what? As well, you can't be too hard on yourselves, because look at Man City. Look how much money they spent. Look how much their squad cost. Look at the fact that when they get an injury, like mid-season, they can go out and buy like a £40 million replacement defender. Man United ain't doing that. Many teams would struggle to fight off Man City. So there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that at all.
Yeah.
It just so happened that Guardiola, he took his time, but he found the right blend between defence and attack. And my gosh, do they score goals? Yes, they do. And surprisingly, they can defend. Not many people actually look at the numbers, but I think they have the best defence. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so.
The best defence and the best attack. I mean, you can't actually argue with that.
To be honest, yeah, you can't. But the thing is, to be honest, it's been a bit weird, because when you have someone like Otamendi in defence, I don't even rate him at all. I think he's not a great. He's sort of prone to sort of errors. But
even Company's best days is gone. But
yeah, they've done it, man. You know, there's people like Fernandinho who have been in midfield have been epic for them. So someone who's been standing in midfield, who's controlled what's going on in front and behind him. When you have a general in midfield, it sort of can eradicate errors, and it seems like Fernandinho. Yeah, so.
And at the same, it's also to do with the manager's philosophy, because if you keep possession, you've got the ball, then there's no way the other team can attack you, right?
That only works with the right blend of players, and that's what you said earlier. Because We had Louis van Gaal who tried this possession football at United, and it was disgusting. It was shocking football. Honestly, it was the worst. Like, I've got a season ticket at Old Trafford, and going to the games was dire to watch United at that time, because he tried the possession football. We were getting like 80% possession, but it was just going nowhere. But like with Pep, you see that they gain 70% possession, but they gain about that 12 shots on goal or whatever. Do you understand? So it's very productive possession. There's no point having
like
possession.
Arsenal.
It's not going to be productive.
Yeah, I like Arsenal. Basically, Arsenal have lots of possession, but mate, it's powder puff. You know, to be honest, and Arsenal can't defend for toffee. Well, we'll move on to Arsenal now. Arsenal, for me, we all know we've had a very disappointing season. No away wins this year, which is pretty disgusting. Change of manager, yeah, rightly so. But Arsenal, I kind of miss. Look, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really like Man United back in the day, but what I did enjoy was the epic battles that we used to have at Old Trafford and the Emirates and Highbury. 100%. I'd like to see them back, but it just feels like Arsenal got such a long way to get back to them levels, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what it is, to be honest, Frankie, I think both teams have got a long way to go back to that sort of, intensity between the players, like to have that passion between the players, Vieira, Keane, Ian Wright, Schmeichel, them days, Keown, Van Nistelrooy, them sort of battles that happened amongst the pairing from each team. It doesn't seem to be there no more. And I just think that goes for English football in general as well. I don't think there's that much passion in the derbies or the rivalries no more. Like United Liverpool isn't the same United Liverpool from like maybe 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it's different in that sense, but I totally get what you're saying. The sort of passion at United or Arsenal's, them sort of games, them rivalries are sort of petered down, and we want that to be back, and hopefully this new manager that comes into Arsenal can sort of ignite that in the Arsenal side of things and hopefully cause something to happen. There's
talk of Allegri, and I feel like we need an Italian manager to come in and to kind of like give a rocket to some of the players, because some of these players, to not even track back. Xhaka is a defensive midfielder, but lets the opposition run past him and doesn't shield the defence. It's shocking, mate. Arsenal really need massive wholesale changes. We're talking about 2 defenders, goalkeeper, defensive midfielder, winger. What's that, 5 players? That is going to be a big
The thing is with that, even with that, Frankie, even when you buy 5-6 players to integrate them into one team in that one season, in that first season together, is tough. Pep sort of done it. Pep sort of bought a couple of players and bought some new defenders, but
Aguero was there already, innit? Aguero was there already, Fernandinho was there already, De Bruyne was there already.
He used a lot of players from the past anyway, but for Arsenal, they do need to sort of buy these 5-6 players and then try integrating them into the team straight away. It's a bit difficult, man. It's not, one thing I've got to say to Arsenal fans is, you remain patient for Wenger to leave. Now remain patient for the next 2-3 years for you to actually build a team that's going to actually start challenging for the title again. You understand? You can't expect a new manager to come in. Like we've seen it with Fergie. Fergie left and there was no chance. We've been 5 years without Fergie, I think, now. And we're nowhere near to that football or that level of football that we had with him. So same thing I would say with Arsenal would be the same case. Arsenal fans need to remain patient, and hopefully, there'll be progressive years for you guys, because to be honest, as a United fan, I want to see them big games with Arsenal again. I want to see them. They don't have that same amount of passion that they used to have back in the day, so I would love to see them again as well.
Talked about passion. No Vieira in midfield, no Sol Campbell at the back, no Lehmann, Mad Dog in goal as well. Arsenal, we're totally lacking those aggressive players that we need, but like you said, hopefully a new manager will come in, hit the ground running and really sort Arsenal out, because it's been a nightmare, mate. And as you can tell from our voice, mate, I'm very disheartened with our constant L's that we've been taking. Your boy Razza called Arsenal L the other day to me, which is really hurtful,
Oh, hey. You know what? Honestly, hopefully there'll be better times for you guys, man. There'll be better times for you guys, because I think Premier League football would be good if Arsenal sort of maintain with it, because you have, honestly, it's not even a Man United thing, but you've been like the laughing stock of the of the league. Arsenal fan TV doesn't help because you've got people who are sort of ranting straight after, but
become a banter club. Yeah.
You know, it's just you need that winning mentality, man. Just like how every top team needs that winning mentality again. I think you guys need it instilled with a fierce manager, somebody who's going to really give these players a good bulking when they need it. Because I think Wenger's been a bit too loud on them. I don't think he's been one of that minders who'd shout at a player or whoever go at a player.
He's been chilling, man. On his big salary, he's been chilling, man.
You got to blame the board as well, innit?
Right. That's our time. I'd like to thank Ken Buhari, Uni from Fight Hype, and Peter Sugaroff. Join us again next week for another Pep Talk UK podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave your comments in the box below. Thank you.